Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome to a live episode of Brazen Insights with Asia. I just got to say before we jump right in that I have to say thank you to everyone who has been engaging in the comment section, who's been subscribing and liking and sharing the content. I'm so grateful to you guys for being a part of this journey with me. And I can't wait to see what more we can accomplish here on this channel. Now, I am broadcasting this live just not just here on YouTube, but on my Facebook page, Asia Branch USA. I'm kind of excited to see what we're going to do here. I do got to say, for anyone who is interested in joining in on this conversation, you can see the name of this episode of this live is Why Black Women Are Ditching Black Men, but they've been doing it for years. If you're interested in joining in on the conversation, I don't mind allowing anyone in. I do have the link available in the comment section on both Facebook and YouTube. So if you're interested in joining in, you can just kind of just chime in whenever you guys would like to. But this episode today, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how many of you watched the episode yesterday where I was talking about the swapping that Black women are doing, leaving Black men to be with non Black men, specifically showing their interest with white men. And that stirred up a lot of controversy, specifically in the comment section of that episode. A lot of Black men didn't like that episode. They're having issues with Black women voicing their frustrations with them and pretty much saying on TikTok, which I would not recommend you guys download because China will spy on you, but that's a side note. A lot of Black women are kind of trending on TikTok nowadays because they're pretty much talking about how they're ready to just start dating white men and how they're tired of being loyal to Black men. And I discussed that in yesterday's episode. Now, earlier today, I want to say sometime around noon or 1 p.m., depending on which time zone is, I reacted to some of those comments. And I don't know how many of you have watched that episode, but there was some heated debate happening in the comment section. And I figured, well, let's pull it out of the comment section and actually have debate on this, right? I want to actually debate, you know, why are Black women choosing non Black men? But I also want to talk about why are so many Black men upset about it? I find it quite interesting. Like when you think about the history, right? Black men have been dating and marrying women outside of Black America for decades. So, why is the dynamic of Black women choosing to date outside of Black America now all of a sudden causing this reaction from them? I don't really intend to do like this deep analysis or quoting stats. However, I am sure that my guest who's interested, he accepted the challenge. He said he would come on, so hopefully he does. I want to have that conversation about the shifting of those dynamics because it is causing some tension in Black America between Black women and Black men. And I want to dive into it. I do. Now, I am going to show you guys some of what I discussed in yesterday's episode, just a little bit, so you guys can kind of get an idea if you didn't see it already. I don't have a qualm about talking crap about Black men, Black women. I kind of have an issue with Black America in its entirety. I just think the culture itself is type violent, sadistic, overly sexed, and it's just not my cup of tea. I'm a girl who listens to jazz music of yesteryear or country music or show tunes from Broadway because I can't really stand Black America. Every now and again, there's a rap song that'll get through, but Black America today is just, it's trifling. It needs an exorcism. So I don't really care about how Black men feel about me talking about their problems. And I don't really care how Black women feel about me talking about their problems because there are times where I get in on Black women. Like I do. The Black men who's created the content in the manosphere, they're type right. So I don't really know why this gentleman in my comment section from earlier today, didn't like it. I don't know what the heck we were actually disagreeing. Honestly, I think he was just upset that there are women, Black women, who are voicing their frustrations. And I think he's upset about it. I think he was very much woe is me. But let me not speak for him. He said he would accept the invitation. I told him it would be 7 p.m. today. For you, Mr. Young and Young Handsome, I can't remember your entire YouTube channel. You said you would be here. I'm here. I'm ready. I know you said you got your stats and all of that. Bring it here. And in the meantime, I am going to pull up, ladies and gentlemen, that episode that I aired today and a little bit of yesterday. We'll start with yesterday's. I do think that's the one that, kind of started all of this. So I do think that's the one that we kind of need to watch first. Let me just get it together here for you guys. Good thing about not having reached the criteria for YouTube, I don't have to worry about ads running on my content. We don't have to worry about it interrupting us, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go here. Let's go ahead and share this screen just so you guys can, like I said, get an idea. Let's see. Swapping teams. Why Black women are leaving. All right. So I'm just going to get us right to it. I don't really like watching myself, folks. So this is going to be
let's get to it. I know that was long, but pause. But
okay, so just some background. This guy, I can't remember. I think he wasn't called. I believe his channel is called Media Man. He was covering all these women that were trending on TikTok, talking about their issues with Black men. And this was the subject that I was discussing in yesterday's episode that caused such a stir of Black men in my comment section. So I'm just going to play this clip for you guys and a little bit of my reaction to it.
Did y'all ever think that Black women are the least married because we're the most loyal? We just seem to absolutely refuse to date outside of our race.
So I'm like, that has never been a problem for me. Like I said, I am only prejudiced towards Chinese people and these illegals coming in from out of the country. I'm not stuck in this Black love nonsense. A lot of Black women today they want Black love, and that is a trap. It is a trap because you're not being treated well. You're not. Let's say you are the virgin, as discussed earlier on in the video, in my episode today. Let's say you are the virgin who's coming up in Black America. You're not going to be treated well. You're not going to be married. See, he thinks you're high value until he screws you, takes your virginity away, but he's not the guy that's going to marry you. But let a white man find a virgin in today's day and age, he's more likely to marry you. And I stand by everything I said about this young lady's clip. I do want to get to the next one because that was the one that had me on my ass. I swear. This is the clip where it was like, this is your typical Black female. And I got some stuff to talk about when it comes to those types of Black women too. So you Black men aren't the only ones getting it on this channel. Believe you me. For Black men. Why?
I've never seen an unhappy Black woman with a fine ass white man. I've never seen it.
Picture this. You're sitting at home
I'm
alone.
like, they be giving you ads on YouTube at the worst time, don't they? They do.
We could talk about it more. Because the ones that be happy as hell with their white man, they be getting everything that they want. And that's going to be me next. Happily in love, living a life. They man spoiling them. They just open it. Where the white man at? I'm at the point where I'm sick. Like, I am. Y'all give nothing. No.
Yo, every time I watch that, it makes me crack the hell up. I am not even gonna lie, because I said it when I responded to some of these comments. Black women, you need an attitude adjustment. Like, you're not getting any man talking like that. She talks so hard, and look at how she referred to Black men. They're just a bunch of, I can't even say it, N-words. And it was like, but now why do you think you're getting any man? Any man, you're aggressive, you're clearly hostile, you don't know how to talk to people. Why would any man get with you? Like, that chick had me rolling yesterday. I was dying when I saw her. But it's like, this is the problem that Black women have. And I do have some stats of my own. I was trying to hold off and see if this gentleman would hop onto the live. And, I'm willing to sit here for like another good, I'll say it for like another 15 minutes just to give him some time, because I really like going live with you guys, specifically on a weekend. But now I do want to show you guys the comment section that, it was going crazy today. Between yesterday and today's episode, it was going wild. There were so many comments, and even from the episode I just showed you, ladies and gentlemen, the comments just kept rolling in. Right. And I got to say it, though, because the issue isn't just with Black women, right? This white man means rich man. and the whole I'm oppressed and all that nonsense. You black men have the same kind of a problem, okay? Because while you're offended that these black women are ready to marry outside their race and marry non-black men and voicing how they specifically want white men, you're getting offended by it. But then you go and say, oh, you black women just want to go and marry massa and you want to go and marry the colonizers. You see, stuff like that annoys the crap out of me because it's all of you black folk. It's all of black America, or the majority of black America, that has this woe is me story. And it's simply because it's all rooted in it's racism this, it's slavery that, it's a violation of civil rights and we need to be protected. And like, what do you mean? Stop with that. The whole point, as far as what we've been taught, because it could be wrong, it may not have been the motives behind the civil rights movement, but this is what we were taught in school, so it could be incorrect here. But we were taught that the whole point of the civil rights movement was to be integrated into mainstream America so that way there would be no difference outside of our skin color and it wouldn't be acknowledged as related to our merit, right? We would still be treated like human beings. We would still have access to good education, good health care, that we would have access to banking, capital, opportunity. And what everybody in America today is figuring out, that government doesn't care about any of us. It's not about race. They just don't like free people. Period. You don't have to be black to be treated a kind of way in America by your own government. Government just doesn't like us. The government of today doesn't like any free people. It's not the American government anymore. It's the government of the world. And that's why they are against us. That's why Donald Trump is a better candidate, why he would be a much better president than Kamala Harris. Commie Kamala is what they call her now. But this is the problem with you black women who only want to vote for Kamala because she's a woman and she's supposedly black. And then you have these black men running around here. How am I supposed to think? When you black men say to black women who want to marry non-black, you say to them that it's because they want to marry the colonizers. They want to marry their oppressors. They want to marry the white man that's keeping the black man down. But you're trying to convince these women not to vote for Kamala? How are we to believe that you're not voting for her? This is the problem with black people. You guys are just running around here, all woe is me because of what happened way long ago. Way long ago. I had to let that out, folks. Okay. I did. And now I'm gonna pull up the comment section from earlier today because it was intense. Like there was a lot going on in it. I don't know how many of you, like I said, watched the episode yesterday. I did show you some of that, but I had to clap back to some of these comments because they were just, I won't say they were egregious. I will say that a lot of you guys have been quite respectful, but I had to clap back to some of the comments. So let's go ahead and pull those up because there have been some more that have popped up since I released my comment section episode today. Let's see. Let's go ahead and share the screen here. Oh, let's see. Clap back. Yep, that's the one. Let's go ahead and scroll down to the comment section. Okay, so here we go. Just like I said, this is one of the latest ones. I'm not going to go through all of the comments that I went through. If you guys want to see the official clapback where the challenge was made, there it is. The guy's YouTube handle, young handsome 3447. I'm waiting for you. We agreed in the comment section, 7 p.m. today. I'm waiting for you. I told you I will stand by everything that I said in the last 2 episodes. I'm not scared to come at Black America. I just think Black America is just trifling. Anyways, here's one of the new comments that came up within the last hour that I saw. Why do Black women keep, this one's by a Jewish 6317. Forgive me if I'm getting that wrong, sir. I can't really pronounce some of these. You guys don't have like the standard or the easy usernames. Anyway, he says, why do Black women keep making these one-sided love letter videos for massa? LOL. I replied, and here it is. And honestly, enough said. Uh-oh, here's another white man bad, Black man, LMAO. I mean, you guys, stop. Stop with this white man massa crap. Stop with it. Stop. One of the things that young handsome 3447 said in his comment section, which I kind of expect him to bring up if he ever joins in on this live, he said that less than 1% of white men are marrying Black women today. And my response to him in my clapback was, well, less than 1% of Black women act white, right? That are Carltons. And we're the ones that are pretty much the most attractive to men in general. So to Black men, to white men, to Spanish men, etc. Right. And it's not because we're Black that drew them in. It's our behavior, it's our conduct, it's how we carry ourselves. We carry ourselves with a level of grace and decorum, and it's attractive. It's like walking up on sunshine. That's how we are. And so any man finds that attractive. Doesn't really matter what the skin color is. And so for this guy, Juju, whatever, I can't pronounce it, Juju-ish 6317. Again, I'm sorry. But enough of that. I do want to see if any other comments have come in. You guys can see that, we went back and forth a little bit here on this episode and on the episode I just showed you. And he just kept talking about his stats about less than 1% of white men. And so I had to do a deep dive into it. And like I said, folks, I was waiting to, put my stats into this after the fact. I have a comment that just popped up. Let's go ahead and show that from Arshell Financial. It's important for people of any community to speak out against behaviors that are destroying the community. We are not afraid to speak out against ghetto behaviors, depravity. Proud to be a Carlton. Amen and hallelujah to that, Arshell Financial. You're not wrong, and so am I. Proud to be a Carlton. Proud to be it. I have no problem calling out the problems in Black America. So it's not just Black men who get it on this channel. No lie, Young Handsome 3447 did say that I was a chameleon, that I was a grifter. And I'm like, how? I've always been consistent. I have a whole video, or shorts, I should say, where I say, not proud to be Black because of how ghetto Black culture can be. And I have a whole video clapping at Black women for being aggressive. How am I a chameleon? I've been quite open about how I feel about Black women and Black America. It's just, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. You Black men can get it too. I'm equal opportunity kind of girl. We like equality. Everybody can get it. And you Black America, you're gonna get it because y'all are the ones I have a problem with. You're the ones that I'm ashamed of, specifically with Black America. It's half my lineage. You guys have destroyed Black America. It's been destroyed. Not to say that there isn't external factors. There are, but it is also a choice to be ghetto. You don't have to be that way. It's like when I talk about the 304s who choose Jesus after the fact. It's like you don't have to stay a hoe. Kamala Harris didn't. She didn't stay a hoe. I mean, she's not a nice lady, but she didn't stay a tramp. She's the vice president. She's running for president. You can't do that if you're a tramp. Just saying. Got another comment from Arshell Financial. The way you said ghetto. I'm just saying, you don't got to stay that way. I have a huge problem with Black America. I do. But I got to say it. I find it remarkable that Black men are having such an issue with Black women going to white men or non-Black men in general. Like y'all been doing it for years. And like I said, I was waiting to hold off the stats, waiting for dude to show up, Young Handsome, but he hasn't. I'm, like I said, I would stay on a little bit longer, give him some time. He's got like another 3-4 minutes. But I do got some stats for you guys, and I do want to run those down real quick. Okay, so like he said, as far as interracial relationships go for Black women today, less than 1% of white men are marrying Black women. A little less than 3% of Hispanic men are marrying Black women, and less than 1% of Asian men are marrying Black women. So in totality, 5% of non-Black men are marrying Black women. But now let's do a deep dive into this, right, ladies and gentlemen? These are the stats as of 2023. These are the stats that he gave me. Young Handsome gave me. He probably chat GPT'd it. And so I decided, okay, so this is just for this year. What are the stats for the last 20 years? And I did it not just for women, but for men too. But I got to say it. Since the early 2000s, Black women have already been getting with non-Black men. This isn't a new phenomenon. It's been happening since long before the early 2000s, but it did increase in the last 20 years. So in the early 2000s, like literally 2000, the new millennium, about 3 to 5% of Black women were marrying non-Black men. That's just a fact. In the early 2000s, 3 to 5% of Black women were marrying. Now, that increased by 12% by the year 2020. 20 years later, it increased 12%. 12%. So more Black women are marrying non-Black men. I had to find out, well, why is that happening? There's a couple of reasons, couple of factors for the growth and that increase for why Black women are marrying non-Black men. Decrease in stigma. Perhaps there isn't this huge divide that government and the Democrats and these woke, woe is me liberals are, trying to convince us of, that white men are oppressive, that they're these violent people and that they hate Blacks. Maybe they're not actually believing that anymore. That could be that's part of it. Expanded social networks. That's another part of it. Right? Social media has expanded us outside of our immediate community, right? So it gets your mind out of the hood, out of the ghetto. Get your mind out, and you're becoming exposed to other people and other individuals who are, like you, a like-minded person, especially if you're a Carlton who lives in the hood, right? If you're a Ben Carson, a Candace Owens, or an Asia Branch, social media definitely got you outside the hood. Now, luckily for me, and my parents were awesome sauce. I didn't grow up in the hood. I grew up in the suburbs in Brooklyn around a lot of Jewish people. And when I moved to New Jersey, I still lived around a lot of Jewish people and a lot of white people. So I didn't do the hood thing. That was not my life. And I'm not like Kamala Harris, where I'm going to fake it to get views. Like, no. Another reason was the demographic changes. As I just said, a lot of us blacks today have parents that got you out of the hood. Not all of us stayed there. Not all of us had the so-called black experience. We didn't grow up in the hood. We weren't growing up dodging bullets, right? We grew up like Carlton. From the original Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, not this stupid ass Bel-Air nonsense. I hate how they wrote Carlton. Hate it. And I just thought, that's a little bit more context when it comes to the stats. Okay, so when Young Handsome was talking about less than 1% of white men marry Black women, like I said to him my clapback to him in my episode earlier today, I said, well, the reason why that's the case is because less than 1% of Black America act white or are Carltons. It's just a fact. But that trend is growing, right? And if Black women want to marry men outside of Black America, then they need an attitude adjustment. And it looks like they're willing to do that for the first time in God knows how long. So if why the women in Black America stop acting so aggressive, stop talking so hard, stop being so violent towards their men and are ready to submit, if the reason that they change how they behave is because they want a man that is not Black, more power to them. More power to them. I said in my episode earlier today, I need women to start behaving more like Diane Carroll and less like Megan Thee Stallion. Period. You need women who care about their weight. You need women who are going to be less hostile and violent. No more Cardi B's. No more of that. That actually gets me thinking. Y'all know, I don't know if y'all know who Diane Carroll is, but she was from the Bronx. She was an elegant, intelligent, talented, beautiful Black woman. And when she would go on late night, they all thought she was this exotic woman from the islands. And she grew up in the Bronx. You fast forward 40 years, 50, 60 years from when she makes a come out in Hollywood. What comes out of Hollywood? Cardi B. Cardi freaking B. The shift in behavior in just 60 years. From Diane Carroll to Cardi B. They both came from the same neighborhood. What changed? What changed? You Black women need to get a grip. You Black women so do. Because the manosphere is not wrong when they say that you are aggressive, that you don't know how to act. You don't know how to talk to men. You're not going to get any man behaving that way. That's why that clip of that chick, saying, where the white man at? I want to be with a white man. I'm sick of you N-words. Girl, who you getting with talking like that? Who? Because you sound ghetto as a mud. Like, what? Stop. Stop. Stop it. You black men, though, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Y'all are not like black men from yesteryear, the young black men today, because y'all are soft. You act tough because you lived the life, you dodged bullets, you were from the hood, yada, 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 yada. The woe was me. But you have issues too. You lack a certain maturity the same way these black women do. The difference is these women are, I don't see you in here. I have the StreamYard in here. I just got a comment from Young Handsome 14. I have the link in there. Give me 1 second, you guys. It looks like he's here. Hold on. Let me put the link in there again and let's see if you're coming up. Just let me know in the comment section if you're having a hard time getting in, because I don't know why I'm not seeing you. Sorry, you guys, having some. I keep clicking it, then copying and pasting it. You should just be able to click the link, Young Handsome. I don't know why you're not, because you should be popping up in. You have to, like, once you go into the StreamYard, Young Handsome, once you're in there, you have to, like, enter your name and then enter studio. That's why you're not popping up in my backstage, because I'm not seeing you in the actual studio. You gotta, like, click the link and come in. Looks like the gentleman is coming in for the conversation. Thank you for trying to get in, Young Handsome. I don't know why you should be popping right up in the studio. I'm not sure why the link isn't working for you. It should be. I know, you guys, this is a live, so you guys are going to be seeing all of the behind the scenes stuff. So, let's see if I can get some, like, background noise for you guys. Let me see here. Oh man, the clapback is getting some views here, Young Handsome. I think a lot of people were liking the challenge. Let's see here. All right. While he's trying to get into the studio, ladies and gentlemen, where was I at? Right. I want to talk a little bit about why I thought black men were offended um by this. And of course, I did some deep dive of my own. And if Young Handsome can make his way into the studio, then we should be okay. And we could talk about some of the points that I do bring up here. But I did have to find out, like do a deep dive. Why are they so offended when they get into it with black women, right? The fact that black women are in fact choosing to be with non-black women. And I did get some information on that. So the reason why a lot of them are taking some offense are, there's a couple of reasons. So we're going to start with, like, the historical and cultural context of this, because that was, like, one of the biggest things that I think popped up. So as far as the research is concerned, so it's like the legacy of racism and slavery, right? So the relationship between black men and black women, it has deep roots because of the shared history of slavery and oppression and all that jazz. But they have this thing about the legacy of slavery and segregation and systemic racism. And so while slavery was happening, there was a separation of black men and black women. And, black women were often sexually exploited by the white slave masters. And so as a result, interracial babies were born. I won't say interracial relationships because that would be untrue. It's pretty much, the mulatto babies were being born. And a lot of black men still have like a residual hatred for it. It's saying I have to download the StreamYard guest app. Is this true? No, you should be able to go in browser, Young Handsome. Like when you click the link, it should bring you in browser. I don't know why you're having such a hard time. You should be able to just enter the studio that way. I don't know why you're having a hard time with it. You can respond to the comment, to what I'm saying in real time, if that'll be good you. We may have to like do this like offline, arrange something, and figure out how the debate can happen at another time or another date, and we can still have this debate. But it's entirely up to you how you want to do this. You shouldn't have to download the StreamYard app. You literally just click the link. It brings you to the StreamYard in browser. I guess it just depends on how or what device you're using um, to do this. But it's pretty simple. Click the link, brings you in browser to StreamYard. You type in your name, type in your handles, select your camera and mic, turn it on, enter studio, and then you should just pop up in my broadcast studio here. But that's what should happen. You shouldn't have to download the StreamYard app itself. Let me know if you have any other issues with it, and maybe I can kind of walk you through it. I know, ladies and gentlemen, this is a live, and like I said, you guys are kind of going through all of it here. But like I said, I do want to go through some dynamics there. But before we go further into it, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to mention my older brother's business, the Kingdom Cigar Lounge. For those of you who are cigar enthusiasts, like to take a puff off of a cigar, the Kingdom Cigar Lounge is for you. There are some memberships available, so you guys should check that out. If you are in the Pennsylvania area, head down to the website Kingdom Cigar Lounge. I will make that link available in the episode, not just in the comment section, but as well as after the live has completed, because you guys know once the live ends, the comments disappear. So I will make it available for you guys. But the address is located here at the bottom. So is the contact information for the owner, my older brother. There is a shop. We are selling cigars out of the lounge. So if there is a specific cigar that you're looking for, head to the shop, see if it's there. If you don't see it listed, ladies and gentlemen, you can reach out to Adam. He will do his hardest to get you the cigar that you are looking for if it's not listed there. So kingdomcigarlounge.com. I will make that link available for you all in the comment section here, as well as the comment section after the live. And like I said, ladies and gentlemen, you guys know comments always delete after the live ends. So I just made it available for all of you guys there. So now that that's out of the way, it looks like, ladies and gentlemen, we do have a guest here. It's not young handsome 34. I think he's still having an issue there. But let's go ahead and bring in this guest. Go ahead and bring her in to
YOLO.
stage.
Can you hear
Rochelle,
me?
can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you
I
hear
can
me?
hear you. So can the audience. Yep.
Awesome sauce. Yeah, I'll leave the camera off because I'm not in the studio. So, I'm just going to leave the camera off today.
That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Thank you so much for joining. I was hoping to get Young Handsome on. He's having a hard time getting on to the StreamYard. I don't know why. Like, can you tell me,
Honestly,
how
I
did
will
you get
say,
on?
so I clicked the link because I saw the comment and I'm like, let me check. So I clicked it and it worked because clearly I'm here. I'm not going to throw shade because I don't know. Maybe he is having some technical difficulties on his end. But,
I know.
I
I'm
am a
like that when he
podcast
said the
engineer,
app.
so it's not. Yeah, I'm a podcast engineer. I need to know how to make this stuff work, but I'm doing it from my cell phone. So, that's, I'm not going to throw
Yeah, I don't
shade.
know why he's
It is
having
my
a hard
job
time
to
there.
know
Yeah,
how the tech works. So it could be that. I'm not going to throw shade.
yeah, because I don't know how I don't know why it's not working for him. It should be able to. So young handsome, if you want to try again, you can. But I see you got a comment in here. We'll figure out how to do it offline. Like I'll put my email address. Head over to the YouTube channel. The email address is listed there, and then we can figure out how we
I
can
guess you can always
make this happen.
respond to the comments he has coming in. So I guess that'll be until you guys are
Yeah,
able to do the debate.
to get it done. Yeah. So here's Young Handsome's comment. Most of us don't care about Black women dating outside. They just have a bad habit of trashing Black men in the process. I'm like, weren't Black women always doing that though? Like they didn't have to say they were dating white men. They just were always trashing you guys. I mean, that's not a new phenomenon. I'm just
It's
saying.
not a phenomenon
We
at
got
all.
another comment. Yeah, we got another one here from Young Handsome. Black women get a massa. She's celebrated. Black men get trash for dating out. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong about the Black men getting trash for dating outside the
No,
race.
I actually, sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. No, you can respond.
Yeah, so I do think that Black women get crap for being with white people. I mean, you saw that with Candace Owens. Like, she married a white dude, so obviously she's trying to be white because she hates being Black. She's a Black white supremacist. Even when I'm like, if I'm interested in anybody, right? Like, I'm attracted to men. So really, it's the only type of man I would never date is not so much because of their race. It's really because of all of the stuff associated with it. It's just Asian. Like I would never date an Asian because, you know, you could be a spy. I saw the Russians, so I'm not trying to. Beyond that, you know, that's really it. I could be going out of my mind, but that's
I
just.
I 100%
I do think
I
black women get it.
100% agree with you. I agree. That's why I was saying I agree with half of his comment here where he says black men get trash for dating outside. I'm like, I agree with you on that. Black men do get
That I
trash for
agree
dating
with.
outside the race. You guys have been doing that for decades. So this isn't a new phenomenon either. But to say that black women are getting celebrated when she gets with massa. This is why
Like,
I said
remember
young
waiting to
handsome 34.
exhale?
Like yes, yes. And you know what gets on my nerves? Like specifically from black men. I gotta say it. You guys are just as bad as black women with the woe is me, white man bad argument. Like, what's wrong with being white today? They're not massa, they're not a slave master, they didn't oppress us today, they didn't do anything. They haven't done anything.
Right.
Like, why are we holding them responsible for what's happened more than a century ago? They are not responsible. So don't sit here calling them massa because you wouldn't like it if a white person run around called you the N word in the same tone that it was given 100 and something years ago. So it's not a good idea to say that. And to say that black women get celebrated, hogwash. Because I remember when Candace Owens went on what was that? The Breakfast Club with Charlemagne, the blasphemous.
I don't even call
And
him
he
that.
pretty much yeah, I call him Charlemagne the Blasphemous. Like, you're not Charlemagne the G word. No,
Hilarious.
you're Charlemagne the Blasphemous because you're not a god. But anyways, he was pretty much trashing, trashing the concept of, being able to speak on black issues because she's married to a white man. And she got a lot of flack from black women for being with a black man, being with a white man, and black men were talking smack about her being with a white man too. So it's not just you black men who marry outside the race that get it. Black women who do it also get the same flack. It's not just you black men who are getting it. I just think everybody's getting trash talked about it, but now that it's becoming more and more mainstream, there's a growth in interracial relationships that's been growing for the past 20 years. So yes, it's still 5% of black women marrying non-black men, but 20 years ago this number was at 3% and it's up 12% in 20 years. So that tells
You
me
know what
another
I think it
20%,
is?
another 20 years. Another 20 years.
Yeah, but you
I
know
just
what I
hope it
think?
just stays the OG races though. I need blacks, whites, and Native Americans to outpopulate the crap in America. Period.
Yeah, I mean, I
That's
would
where I
like that
stand.
as well. I'm for the OG races. So if black and white, black and native, native and white want to be a thing, then I'm for that. For
Have
sure.
at it.
OG races do need to be the dominant ones. And I do think black America kind of has to
Oh
really
man,
compete against Hispanics in that regard.
they do.
But
Give
what
me
I
one
will
second.
say,
Young Handsome just popped up again. He said, I promise I'm really trying to come up. Do you have a TikTok? Oh, Young Handsome,
of
no,
course
I
not.
don't. I don't. You might have missed it when I said it earlier on. I don't do TikTok because I believe the Chinese are trying to spy on us, and I'm not saying that just to be funny. Like I do believe that. I'm a Trump
Word.
supporting conservative girl. So when I watched the hearing, TikTok is spying. The guy admitted it. It's just what did he say? It's just a coincidence. He said that and was like, it's a coincidence that the
I
Chinese
remember that.
military is overseeing your tech. Okay, but we're
I
not being
fell
spied
out
on. So no, I
laughing.
don't have it. I did too. Like he really said that. He don't watch no American crime TV. You never say that and you're the bad guy. Never say that.
Quick word, you never say that. When you say it's a
Please.
coincidence, chances are it's not.
It's not. So no, I don't
Yeah.
have a TikTok. We're definitely gonna. I do have an Instagram. It's becoming Brazen USA. Hit me up in DMs, and then we can figure out how to do that. I've never gone live on Instagram before. I've literally never done that. I've gone live on Facebook, so but again, it's through StreamYard. It's not like solely on like these platforms. I have a broadcast studio that I use, so we'll have to figure out how we're gonna get you onto StreamYard, and we'll have to have the debate again. I do appreciate you trying though, and I commend you because some people they say stuff in the comment section and they can't back it up. They don't have the balls to get on, and you're actually putting in the effort. So I gotta hoorah to you, young handsome 34. Like, good job. I appreciate that. But yeah,
Indeed.
I do want
Indeed.
to run down some I want to run down some more of the why I think black men are offended, if you ask me, by this concept. Honestly, I don't think. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do think a lot of it has to do with the idea of slavery and segregation and the violation of civil rights. Oh, I got another guest here. Oh, it's JB. So do you remember that debate you had on the
Yes, I
show
do.
the last time you
I
were here?
do.
It's him. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna add
Oh,
him to the
hey.
stage.
Awesome
I'm gonna go ahead
sauce.
and add him to the stage. Hey JB, what's up? Thank you for joining in on the live.
Hey, what's good with y'all? How you doing? How y'all doing
We're
today?
doing pretty good. How are you? Happy Saturday.
Man, I'm doing good. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. In fact, I'm at work right now, but I was tuning into your show, and this is an interesting topic out there. Trying to-
I hear you. Yeah, I got a lot of flack in my last episode about black women leaving black men. I just want to read this comment to the both of you, and then you guys give me your take on it. This is from Young Handsome 34. So just to give you some background, JB, I posted some episodes these last 2 days about black women leaving black men. I responded to this gentleman, Young Handsome 34, and I pretty much invited him on the show so we can kind of debate it out. He's having some technical difficulties, so we'll figure that out later. So he's kind of responding in the comment section. So here's one of his comments. It's funny because out one side of black women's mouth, they cry about colonizers, racism, and oppression, yet make tons of videos and write books begging and worshiping their oppressor. It's crazy to me. I agree with him
Dang,
when he says that, though. I agree with
I
him.
do
okay.
agree because, I'm trying to find a way to say this without getting too personal in our business. How do I say this? Okay. I know somebody who is all black power, yay black women, yay black men, yay black love, but then their child looks like Superman. And it's like, but wait. I completely agree. On the one mouth, out your mouth, you're like, they're colonizers, but your baby looked like Superman. So you're gonna have to like. That sounds like an inner battle you got going on there.
Lucy. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
without a doubt. JB, you got a comment? Do you agree with this gentleman?
Well, I agree to. That's funny. I agree to a degree with what he's saying, but at the end of the day, it actually goes and speaks to the point I came up here about the differences of how, like, well, I kind of want to comment on the interracial dating thing a little bit. I have some thoughts on that.
Mhm.
Um, I
Go ahead.
I have to disagree with y'all a little bit about black men face the same amount of criticism as black women when they date out. And I can give you an example. Right now, Kamala Harris is running for president, right? She has a white husband. Yet, right now, Barack Obama and everybody's getting at black men for not voting for her strictly because she's black, a black woman running. But if a black man ran for president with a white wife, it would not be the same thing. In fact, they will run him out of town and out of the whole election process period. We got other people like Serena and Venus Williams. They dated white men. Nobody really got on them. You know what I'm saying? Nobody really gets on black women the same way they get on black men. This is not to play the gender war thing, but I do feel like there's a a difference of how it's treated, how we're treated when we date in the race. So we agree with that, or
So to your point, JB, I can agree with you that some black women who date white men aren't getting the same flack that black men would get. You're not wrong about that. But the why they're not getting it is very important. They are the leftist media. They are on the left. They're Democrat. They're liberal.
okay,
But when
yeah,
you have because look at Harris Faulkner, right? She got it when she went on The View, right? Sonny Hostin held her to account because she was married to a white man and talking about how Harris isn't doing enough for black people in general. And Harris Faulkner
right,
pretty much said, but I have biracial children, so I can't pick race. I can't teach my children about oppression and all that when their father is a white man. She got it. She got the flack. So if this was about fairness, then you either don't like black women at all being with white men, or it's okay to go after the black women who identify as Christian conservatives who date white men, right? Because Kamala Harris
okay,
isn't getting it, not because they don't agree with her, right? It's because it's not because they don't like that they like that she's with the white man, because they don't. Black women don't like that Kamala Harris is with a white man. Black men don't like that Kamala Harris is with a white man. I mean, she ain't black, but she lied about it for so long that people were believing it. And so they don't like that she's with the white man, but they will not publicly criticize her because she is a liberal female, a part of the leftist crowd, and she's protected from that kind of criticism. But I would bet you $1 million if I had it. If she were conservative, she would have gotten it from Black America. Because look at Candace Owens. Oh, JB, you something sound bad over there.
Word.
Up, JB. Is everything okay? I hope everything's okay, JB. He's doing
While we're
something at
finding out
work
about
there,
that,
so
may
maybe
I say something about the Kamala Harris with the white
yeah.
dude? So there was, I don't know if you saw it, but it was during the Trump and Kamala debate. There was a debate taking place as that debate was happening on Revolt News. And the woman who hosted, who was absolutely ridiculous when she hosted that, she was considered to be the moderator, really, when she was moderating this debate, but not really moderating, she did ask the question, how do people feel about Kamala Harris having a white husband, being that she's, I say in air quotes, a Black woman married to a white guy? Is this a problem? And then you look at Michaela Montgomery, she said, I'm pretty sure the reason why you're not seeing that much of her husband on the trail with her, or why at least they're not showing the two of them and the family together, is because they're trying to maintain this idea that Kamala is a Black woman with the Black experience. And for that reason alone, you can't advertise her family. Now, it's not that you didn't know that she was married to a white dude. It's just, it's easy to forget if you're not seeing it on a daily basis that she is married. It's like, oh, right. Yeah, forgot she was married to a white dude. Just completely forgot. And that's why it's not a part of the campaign trail. I agree with you, however, Asia, when you say that it's not so much that Kamala Harris is married to a white dude that she's not getting the flack. It's because she's on the left. Because, right, they didn't go after Serena Williams, but they did go after Candace Owens. They did go after Alfre Woodard, but they did, in fact, go after Harris Faulkner. And, when you're, and I think that's the case even when you're just a Black conservative, right? That, oh, you probably identify more with white people. You're going to end up with a white husband because you're conservative. And it's like, well, you end up with whom you share the most values with. And if my values are more in alignment with white Americans, that's not my fault. That's just what is. It's just a way of the society that we live in.
But as
If
far
I have more in common with white American men than I do Black American men,
right. And
it's not my fault.
To Young Handsome's comment here about the Black women crying about colonizers and racism and all that, he's not wrong. I crack up when I see those things because it's like, yeah, these Black women. I actually had a person in my comment section for one of my other episodes saying that the problem with Black women today is that they don't. It's not just about dating white men per se. Like they believe in like that they are oppressed, woe is me nonsense, like the systemic racism and all that nonsense across the board. And the fact that while on one side they're saying that they are oppressed and that they're being taken advantage of and they are the most divested group of like, but you're still saying that you want to marry and date the very people you're accusing of being racist. So I totally agree with him when he
I
said
think
that.
it
He has
is.
another comment. What?
Yeah. I think that the reason why that you have that duality with Black women is because I think it comes down to priorities. It's the movement you're a part of, the BLM movement that they say that they are a part of or support, says that white men specifically, but whites in general, are just bad people. But then you look at the differences between not to say that I agree with this, but they're seeing the differences between what a white guy provides versus what a Black guy provides. Not to say that I agree with this mentality at all. I don't think that just because a guy is white, that means he's going to provide you the life you're looking for. Because white dudes can be just as much of an a-hole as Black dudes can. I think that's a men thing that women are really, it's like work. That could just be a man thing that women are just not trying to acknowledge here. It's not just associated with it.
On my episode, well, not my episode, but on the comment, and I did do it in an episode just a little bit. I did say, someone said white man does not mean rich man. And I was like, facts. Black women who are thinking that you're going to get with these white men who are just going to lavish them with all this stuff and take care of them and they don't got to lift a damn finger. Like, if you think that way as a woman, right? Never mind just being a black woman, but as a woman, like you ain't, she ain't nothing but a gold digger, right? Like
She ain't messing
that's a
with no
problem.
broke
Like,
nerds.
how our mother goes, "Oh, that word."
Yeah, it's
I got
hilarious.
another comment from Young Handsome. Black men
Mhm.
can't take a black woman on a coffee date without being divested from. Meanwhile, white men are on the police force. What?
Yeah, it says you two men are on the
Unaliving,
police force. Unaliving
unaliving black women at alarming rates, turning them into
into.
ghetto gaggers. And I don't know what the hell that means. Okay, so I act white, Young Handsome. I don't know if that's slang. Like you have to speak. I don't
Like,
know
what
what
is a ghetto
N2
gagger?
means.
Like,
Right,
really, I
like,
need to
what
know what
is
that.
that? Please put that in the comment section.
Right.
JB just said in his comment, "Oh, hey, Asia, my bad. My phone died. It's on the charger now. I'll be in the comments." That's why he screamed that F word. It was like, I hope everything's okay. I
Right.
got another comment. I don't know what any of the N2 ghetto gaggers, I don't know what that is.
Well,
Unaliving, I'm
then
assuming he means that
so
I
into.
into ghetto gaggers. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's
Into
ghetto
ghetto
gaggers.
gaggers.
I don't know what
Is
that
that
is.
I
But
don't
as
know what
far
that
as
means at
police
all.
killing black women, I've seen some of these videos of black women. There's only one that I've seen where that guy, the cop, is doing too much and where he should be
Wasn't that the
prosecuted
Sandra
because he shot the
Bland?
woman in the face.
That was
No, not so much. I'm not talking
Oh,
about the
yeah,
Sergeant
there
Blair.
was
I'm talking
that
about
one.
the
Oh,
most
yeah,
recent one where that cop
yeah.
shot that woman in the face because she wouldn't put the boiling water down. It's like, yeah, that cop should definitely be prosecuted. But the other videos that I've seen where you had black women being arrested, I'm like, those were, from what I've seen, so of them were completely
Yeah.
justified. If you're going to be
Right.
disgruntled, if you're going to be egregious, if you're going to assault the police officer, do not
Yep.
expect this to go well in your favor, right? Now, what
Yeah.
happened with
And I
the
gotta say,
cop that shot the
I have
woman in the
to
face, that cop should be
he
prosecuted. But,
deserved
we can't say that at alarming rates without segregating which ones were justified over which ones weren't. And that's my issue with
exactly.
BLM in
I
general.
agree
They
with you, and that's
conflate
my
the
problem with this
numbers.
mindset, and this is my problem with this with Black America because it's that particular mindset that's got Carlton Black people like you and me and Brandon Tatum and Candace Owens and other Black Americans like us who were like, "What are you talking about?" Like you're not wrong when you say Black men can't take Black women on a coffee date because Black women are it's not just black women, it's the modern female. You can't take her to the Cheesecake Factory. I don't know what's wrong with her. I love cheesecake. Any man can take me to, you can take me to Cheesecake Factory. I ain't complaining.
You can take
If
me
it's
to a
nice
coffee
outside,
shop. I love coffee.
I love coffee. They better have hazelnut. That's all I need,
That's all I
right?
need.
So there's a lot of women in general who just are so bougie and don't like the idea of balling on a budget. He has to always cough up hundreds of
Right.
dollars on
Like,
a date.
why does a
And
man have
that's
to go
that's not
broke
just
to
a
get
black
you?
woman problem. Right? That's not
That's the
just a black
modern
woman
woman thing.
problem. Heck, I was watching one of these court shows and this woman was suing this guy for some promise he made about splitting the lottery or something. And she was dating him for 3 months and so, he was coughing up a lot of money. Month 5 rolls around and she's still looking for him to cough up hundreds of dollars on dates. And it's like, but we're in month 5. Why are we still spending all this kind of money? We're in now it's the whole, we're going to go grocery shopping, cook at home. And so she was trifling too. This was a white couple. So it's not just black women that you're talking about, but as far as, police turning, black women into whatever the hell ghetto gaggers is, I don't buy into that police brutality nonsense. I have another
I don't
comment
either.
coming in from Celine. Celine, I love you. This is the young lady, Archie, who was very honest in the comment section. I talk a
I
lot
did
about
read
it
her
on the
comment. It
episode
was
that I
honest. I related so much to
it's
it.
awesome. I bet. And I love you, Celine. She says, I've had some of the divestors be so hostile towards me as a white woman for trying to bring a perspective when if they marry a white man, their in-laws will be white women. Celine, don't feel bad. Black women, unfortunately, not all of us, because me and my sister, we're unicorns. There's not a lot of Oreos running around. We're less than 1% of Black population, but Black women are going to treat you white women terribly, unfortunately. You know, they pretend like they like you at work, but
Did you see Save
ultimately
the
they
Last
don't.
Dance? Like, you know, because now when you get the only good guy,
Yes,
you want to come in here and take. It's like there are movies about this. This is nothing
there
new,
is.
and
It's not.
what I
It's
really
not.
think is so sad about the whole thing, really, is that because if this were the other way around, this would be hands down racist. Like, you know, let
It would be.
a white man be with a Black woman and his white family said, we don't like it. Though Black men and women don't like the fact that this Black woman could be with a white guy, they would come out in defense of her simply because she doesn't
Yeah.
deserve to be treated this way just because she's Black. I don't like that she's with a white guy, but you shouldn't be treating her a kind of way because she's with a white guy. And, you know,
Yeah.
when you have that kind of a dynamic, you know, the whites in that family, when they do get married, they're not going to, you know, treat you a kind of way, but Black family members might treat you a kind of way, even if she doesn't. So you're going to have in-laws that
Got
are
you.
white. And how do you relate to that? How do
Yeah,
you deal with it? Shouldn't be a problem,
exactly.
though.
And if you right. I got a
But,
comment from JB. He's because you know he's in the comment section.
yeah.
Oh, he just Ghetto Gaggers is an adult film website. The theme is Black
Yeah,
women
so
doing
I
disgusting.
wouldn't know what that is.
I would
That's
not
horrible.
know what that is. That is horrible. It's just as bad as slave play. Like, why are you what make
Hated that
that's
show.
it's just as bad as slave play. It was a terrible show. Terrible show. Because it just plays into this ridiculous concept and thinking that white people are bad people. And you're starting to see the reason why, in my personal opinion, why this is increased by, up to why it went up 12% for Black women specifically, because Black men have already been doing this since before the 2000s, and even their numbers have increased by 20 something percent of their marrying outside of the Black culture.
Mhm.
So the reason why I think it's increased so much is that the stigma of white men being bad is ending. And my whole thing is this: if the whole point, at least this is what we were taught in school, the whole point of the civil rights movement was that there would be a integration into mainstream America, and Black people and white people would pretty much be treated the same. Right? We were
Yeah.
as intelligent as white people. We were as capable as white people. Now, there was some prejudice. They didn't want you in their stores and in their business. So you built your own businesses. You built your own schools, but you were very much intelligent. Because look at Guess Who's Coming to Dinner with Katharine Hepburn, right? Sidney Poitier, his character, for
I
example,
love
or how he
that
ended up with a white girl.
movie.
Right. And that line where she says, but we never told her never to fall in love with a colored man. That was like one of the illest lines in the movie.
Yeah,
But it's like,
because like
right.
we told her
The
not to
whole
be a
point
racist, not to
of
be
the
prejudiced, and
movement.
we never said not to fall in love with them
Exactly,
either.
right? The whole point of the movement, of the civil rights movement, as far as what we were taught, was
Love that.
this would be an okay outcome. May have been unintended, but that it would be accepted, because the whole point of integration into mainstream society is that we would be civilized together, that we would be Americans, not Black, not white, just American. And so what is so wrong with seeing that integration? What's so wrong with seeing that interracial relationship? If now that we're seeing that the stigma is ending for these past 20 years, like I said, it's increased for Black women. The stigma is ending. And finally, you're starting to see the integration into mainstream media, but it means behavior has to change. It has to adapt. Black women need an attitude adjustment, and they're adjusting it so they can attract non-Black men. And I find
I
that to
will
be
say,
one hell of a phenomenon.
I do think it's a phenomenon. I don't think, excuse me, I think that Black women not adjusting their attitudes to be with Black men, you know, I think that's, honestly think
Honestly, I
it's
don't care why they're
disrespectful.
doing it. I'm just
Well,
glad.
I'll say,
I
well,
agree. I
I
just
have
don't
a
care. I don't
couple.
care that's why. I'm just glad that they're doing it.
Well, I have a couple of feelings about it. Number one, I do think that it's a bit disrespectful towards Black men. So let me get this straight. We're not, Black men are not good enough for you to fix your attitude. Like, that's a problem. Secondly, I do like the fact that they're adjusting their attitudes to have men in their lives, period, because I do think that men are necessary, obviously, and women should want to have men in their lives, you know? So it's a good thing that they're adjusting their attitudes to get men. I just don't like the idea that their goal is to change their attitudes to attract the white guy, when your attitude should be changed because you're trying to attract a man, period. You know, if you're disrespectful, you're not going to get the guy you want. But to say that
For
you're
real
going to
though, I
adjust
mean,
your
they'd be
attitude to get the
surprised
white guy, that's
if
disrespectful to
they
black dudes.
adjusted, right? Because if they adjust their attitude, they'd be surprised. They may be the girl who gets a Carlton. You know, you
Right.
may
Because
just
that's
be
really what
that.
it
Like,
is. It's like, you know, and
yeah,
honestly, I think women are
got
just coming to
another.
their priorities.
They are. I have another comment from Young Handsome 34. Women overseas are undergoing forced circumcision by their men, not allowed to get a license, not allowed to educate themselves or speak in public. And all black women have to complain about is black men with white women. That's funny, Young Handsome, because what you're saying is black women are privileged, but they wouldn't admit that. They're going to say that they're oppressed. They're oppressed. They're not privileged. They get
He's
treated like
making me laugh,
slaves. They're all
yo. I
mad
will
at
lie. He's good
them.
on it though.
He is, 'cause I'm trying
I
to figure
agree with
out,
that.
what did we disagree on? Young Handsome, what, like, really, what did we disagree on here? Like, I'm trying to like, I know I challenged you because you called me a grifter, but why am I a grifter? I'm thinking we're agreeing about black women. I just don't think
You know what I
you
think it is?
approve of me.
I
Yeah,
think
go ahead.
his issue with you, why he called you a grifter, and I don't mean to put words in your mouth. You know, you obviously can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I'm like, I'm not trying to, you know, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just giving my assumption as to why I think he said what he said.
Right.
That the reason why he's suggesting that you're a grifter, or why he disagreed, is because you are in those few videos you were talking about black men. You know, he may not have seen the videos where you were talking about black women, but that was similar to what happened with Kevin Samuels, right? Kevin Samuels, before he was known for, you know, the late Kevin Samuels, before he was going after black women, he was talking about men, saying this was wrong with men. And a lot of women did not know who he was. They were just not paying attention to what he had to say about men. But the second he started talking about black women, that's when women started paying attention. Oh, you coming at us? You talking about us? He was talking about men, but now he's talking about women, and women have something to say. And you were talking about what's wrong with black women, but now that you have something to say about black men and what's, you know, flawed about black men, now there's comments about how, oh, you black women are all the same. You always got something to say about black men, but you never want to talk about yourselves. It's like, no, I kind of go after
Like, yeah,
everybody.
I yeah, you know,
I go
I
after anybody
that's my
who's
thing,
a
right?
problem
And, you know,
to the
I think,
community.
you know,
I
I
just
agree.
agree with it.
You know what? And Young Handsome, you know, maybe she's wrong, but that's sounding like that's what it is. I mean, like, I got shorts on my YouTube channel where, one, I say I'm not proud to be black because I have issues with black America. Like, there's a lot of shame
Right.
I have being, you know, with half my lineage being black sometimes, because of how violent and hostile and terrible this culture can be. And I do have issues with black women because a lot of them get bad raps. And I can't even be mad at you black men for saying it. Like, I got an older brother who literally years ago went on Facebook and said, I'm done dating black women. They too aggressive. I'm dating Spanish girls. Like, he said that. I cracked up laughing.
That
You
was
know, the
hilarious.
older
I
women,
remember
it
that.
was hilarious. The women in my family were so offended. That's disrespectful. There are women, you have black women in your family, and it's like, listen, he can't marry us. He can't date us. We aren't the aggressive type. He wants a woman like our mom, right? Who isn't aggressive, who isn't hostile, who knows how to submit, knows how to let a man lead. You know, mommy's very, very independent and knows how to and stands up for herself and things of that nature. But she knows how to treat a man. She knows how to talk to a man. And so he wants a woman like that. He wants a woman like his sisters, but he can't date and marry us. And so the black women he's encountering are highly aggressive and they're hostile and they're violent. And so I personally could not be mad at him when he said he's done dating black girls. But now, what's good for the goose, good for the gander. Black women, me specifically, I'm tired of dating black men because there seems to be a trend with you black men that I've, you know, I've had to deal with. And now the same, it's like me and my brother both are having the same problem with black people in general, and we're willing to date outside the race. See, we've opened the dating pool for ourselves. So we're not stuck with the same mess. And so that's just my whole thing about that. I do find that, you know, black women do think that they are entitled to good men, but they don't think they got to do anything to get good men, except when it's outside of black America. I
Right.
totally
You
agree
want the
with your
grade to
assessment.
do the work.
Word. I got another comment here from JB. In my opinion, interracial relationships are cool. They really shouldn't be so much hate for it. personally, I just think that as far as the hate that they're getting, it was way worse 20 years ago. I think it's becoming more popular. I think you're seeing that the OG races are okay with mixing it up. And that's fine. That was kind of the whole point of the civil rights movement. Who cares what color your skin is as long as we're all American? What's wrong with that? The
I
problem
think the
is it's the
majority
liberal
of,
women and the liberal men who
yeah,
have issues with it.
I'll say,
Because
I
it's
think
not,
it's,
I bet
I
you
think
there's no way
the
you're finding a
majority
liberal
is
man
okay
yet
with it.
with a white
Well,
woman. Say
here's
it
the
again.
thing. I honestly don't even think that it's liberals I don't think it's liberals per se. I think liberals are okay with interracial. I think conservatives are okay with interracial. I think the majority, regardless of uh, political affiliation, I think majority of us are okay with interracial relationships. I think it is the loud minority who makes it a
Of
problem.
the
Because
left,
I've
though.
yet to see a flaming liberal man or woman say, whether it's a white person or a black person, like, you listen to someone like Mary McDonald from Battlestar Galactica. She's a flaming liberal. Would she ever say she's got a problem with interracial relationships? Probably not. Right. You'll never hear it from Kamala Harris either. Right. Who is a
Right.
mixed race, biracial person herself. You'll never hear her say she's got
Some
an
way
issue
I can
with biracial relationships. Jill Stein is a socialist, but you'll never hear her say there is a problem. I think the majority of the American
I hear
people
you.
have no issues with this. It's the loud minority, and I
Yeah,
do
I
think it's
agree.
coming from
I agree
black
with that.
people. It's coming from blacks. That's just
It
what it
is.
is. It's coming from
It
blacks, and I do
definitely is.
think
It
it's
definitely
coming
is.
from
It's like because it's a
the
switch.
prejudicial ones.
What was once white America who didn't like the idea of interracial relationships, it's now black America who's just taking it tenfold worse.
Yeah,
I
I
got
think
another
it's quite
comment from
clear to
Young
me black people are
Handsome.
just prejudiced.
I got another. Yeah, I hear you. They got problems. Black America, they got problems. It ticks me off. This is from Young Handsome. It ticks me off how black women create this trope how only black men been dating out, while the most renowned black women all had white men. Maya Angelou, Shaka Khan, Diana
Love her.
Ross, Nina Simone, Venus and Serena, Tina Turner, Eve, and Tyra. Okay, so I'm gonna say this. Tina Turner may not have been the best example because she left a black man for a white man, specifically because she had a traumatic marriage with a black man. So I probably wouldn't have gone with that. I could, you're not wrong when you say a lot of a lot of famous black women, but again, it's a type of black woman. Like these celebrities, like you went with individuals who are spread out in years, like at least 15 years apart as far as celebrity is concerned. Look at black women as a whole, as an entire part of the black population. You're the same person, Young Handsome, who said less than 1% of white men are marrying black women. And it's like, yeah, granted, black women they're more of the black population because there's more women than there are men. That's because they kept aborting their boys for so long. But that's neither here nor there. The fact of the matter is, you're choosing individual celebrities nonetheless, who have like decades in between their celebrity. And yeah, they chose white men, but I mean, they're not. You got to look at what Maya Angelou was dealing with abusive black men. And she chose a white man after her abusive relationship with the black man. Same with Tina Turner. Eve and Tyra, I mean, that's just the environment they're around. I mean, that's part of why you're seeing the increase. You got to remember a huge part of it is demographic changes. If you go from being in the hood to living around a bunch of white people and most of your lifestyle is with more white people, then you're more likely to get with the people you are around. And that's demographic changes. And so we discussed that part. That's part of the increase and why you're seeing, as far as Eve and Tyra are concerned, and Venus and Serena, why they're close to each other as far as years go in celebrity. But the demographic changes. I guarantee you, if they stayed in the hood and they stayed ratchet and ghetto, they would not be with white men. My opinion.
Yep.
Anything you got to say, Young Handsome? Or did I cover it all?
Well, you pretty much covered it because I'm like, word. First of all, I love these women. Well, I'll name the few. Maya Angelou, love Shaka Khan. Come on, love Diana Ross, Tina
I
Simone,
know.
Tina Turner, love me some Tina Turner, and Eve, Shake a Tambourine. Like, come on, these women are fantastic.
Tyra,
Like,
she's a man.
amazing.
Did you?
She was
This is a
annoying on
side
Dancing
note.
with the
Did you
Stars. She's
see
too much of a
who
diva.
was?
Get her off. She annoyed me on
She
that.
was
I
Shaka
had
Khan
no animosity
and
towards her. She was just annoying on Dancing with the Stars, really. But
did
I
you
completely agree
see
with what you
Shaka?
just said. Say it again.
Did you see Shaka Khan and what's your name? Gladys Knight and Shaka Khan just performed. I want to say, what was that, the AMAs or something? It was like the
That's
50th
awesome.
anniversary of
There
some
is a
award show.
video of
Course she
Shaka
sang
Khan
I'm
and
Every Woman.
Yolanda Adams. There was a video of Shaka Khan and Yolanda Adams on stage singing "I'm Every Woman," and it was
Yes,
amazing. Like,
it
but this is what
was.
we're saying.
It
It's
was.
like, but
And
let's
of
ask
course,
yourself, like,
Gladys
come on,
Knight came out and she sang
right.
Midnight Train to Georgia.
On that midnight train to Georgia. But you see, look at that song though, right? I mean, she was willing to get on the train to go be
Right.
with the man. How many women are trying to do that? That's neither here or there about race. It's
Exactly.
just our
Today,
women trying to do that
here's what
anyway.
we get from Black women today: classy, bougie, ratchet. That's today. That's
Right.
enough
And
said.
I'll say,
That's
I will say, you know, these are women who you would find mostly on the liberal side of things. I think the women that get it the
yeah.
most are Black conservatives. Black conservatives. I think when
Yeah, they
whether
are.
you're a
I got
man or a woman, you're just gonna
yeah.
get the flack
I got
because it's
some
not so much just that you're with a white
yeah.
person, it's also that you have the same mindset. It's like, so if I think speaking proper English and carrying myself like
Right.
a lady
Because
and
as
being
like just think about
respectful
it,
as
right?
well as being respected as such
Because
makes
think
me
about
just an
this.
American and not a Black American, and
You're
other races outside of Blacks find that attractive. That's not my fault.
yeah. And I'm glad that you say how mindset and values are important because in some cases, race is irrelevant. Mindset and values are important because as a Carlton, as a girl who's Christian conservative, America First, Trump supporting Christian supremacist individual, why I could never date an Eminem.
It's like,
It's
word.
like
I love
he's
Jesus.
white,
I don't
but
like
why?
chitlins, and I do love me some Betty White. If that's a problem for you, then hey.
Listen,
But if a
that's
white
right.
guy is
I want to
okay
know
with
him.
that,
He's a white guy, but irrelevant. Irrelevant, right? So it's like, I don't give a damn about the race of your skin unless you're Chinese, because I am so prejudiced to those spies. They're spying
I
on
know,
you.
and I'm
Don't do
working on it
TikTok.
because I know it's not right
I
to be
gotta.
prejudicial, but
I hear you, but you
it's
know
just
what? This
not
ain't
right now.
Starfleet yet. I'm more Battlestar Galactica. Cylon.
I'm praying on it, like we're a bunch of
Okay, I got
toasters.
some more comments coming in.
Sorry.
I gotta get some more
Fair, fair.
comments in.
Okay,
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 here's
okay.
another one. Another one from Celine. When I'm talking about bringing perspective to divestors, I'm talking about them being morally consistent. Amen, Celine. I hear you on that. I don't think they're going to be that way, though. You're going to offer your perspective and they're going to feel like you're talking at them or you're telling them how to be and how to act. And then they're going to call you a racist for saying that.
Oh
It's
yeah, and if you
unfortunate,
were a
but
dude, you'd be mansplaining.
you'd be mansplaining and a misogynist. So, don't feel bad. You're not the only one, but unfortunately, Black women are the biggest victims of isms. So, yeah, that's not going to go well. I would recommend find out if they're an Oreo or you're a Megan Thee Stallion type Black female, and then decide if it's a good idea to offer your opinion on how they should behave or act.
If they're a
Um,
Carlton, they're willing to hear it.
If they're a Carlton, yeah, they are willing to hear it. If they're a Megan Thee Stallion type, no. I got some more comments coming in. Here's one from JB. Carlton and his family media being hated on social media example of what I said a little while ago. I need you to kind of explain that a little bit more, JB. I got some more comments coming in again from Young Handsome. He said, both y'all right. And I apologize. I want us all to stay in contact. Yes, most definitely. When this live is over, I got to figure this out. So if you have an Instagram, please drop your IG or something in the comment section, like after I end the live though, because comments go away after the live ends, so that way we can kind of DM and figure out how we can do a live there. Again, I use
We'll be
StreamYard for
subscribing
all of
to
my
your
content.
channel, Young Handsome. I will be subscribing. You got a new subscriber.
Yeah, because tell us what you do a little bit. Like I did see your channel a little bit, and I apologize for my clapback too. I did get a little bit in my feelings there, but I did it in a way that wasn't aggressive because again, I don't believe women should be aggressive. I got another one from Young Handsome. Brazen, are you and your family of American lineage or from overseas? It's funny that you say that. Me and my twin sister are hybrid babies. We are American lineage. Our family goes way, 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 way back to the slave days. And our other half is Panamanian, so hybrid babies
Yep,
we
Hispanic.
are. So it's a
Half
little bit of
Black, half
both.
Hispanic.
Yeah, we are. Black Hispanic. I got another comment from Young Handsome. Dude, stop. You sound silly as F and never discredited my point. I didn't say why they dated them. I was just making the point that black women been doing just like black men. Black women been dating out. It ain't been just us. See, what happened there? What happened? See, you
I
go
think
and you
he's
say you
talking about
apologize.
another
That's
comment from
great.
somebody else. I think it's about somebody else. I think he may be
Oh,
responding to somebody else.
oh, not us. Oh, you're
Yeah,
talking
I don't think
to, you
that's
got to put who you're talking to. That's my bad, Young Handsome. Because I'm like, wait a minute. I thought like that was a switch. I get it now. I get it. But yeah, I hear you when you're when it comes to black women, there's like a huge problem with black women. I get on both. I have issue with Black America, and I think it's cool. It's okay to totally call out both sides, as long as you're calling out both sides and you've been consistent. Like, it would be crazy if you were like this ratchet chick who's calling out black men and not calling out black women because you were a ratchet chick and you just want to defend ratchet women
yeah, and then I
who are
get
black.
upset on behalf of black men because it's like, wait a minute, so you want to act ratchet, be crazy and disrespectful, but then you're mad when they go and they're with a Spanish person, a white person, an Asian person, because they find that they're going to get that respect they should be getting from a different race. And it's like, well, it's not their fault that you're not where you need to be, and you shouldn't be making black men wait to be married, to have families. Because what if you're the black guy who wants to be married, have a
Right.
family, but you just don't have that with the black woman you
Pretty
find?
much. I
But
got
then
another
when you are
comment
the black
here.
woman who is willing to be that, but then you end up with the black guy who doesn't appreciate that, like, that's why it's important to call out both sides. Because our family, we have
Exactly, because
incredible
that's
black
been
women in our
my
family.
experience. Yeah.
And then you'll find black men who just don't appreciate the fact that there are
Yeah.
decent,
And
wonderful
that's my
black women
issue.
who
Is
are
because,
Carltons
like,
and Oreos.
I see with black, we have amazing black men in our family, and
Yeah.
they find good women, and you're just like, what is? And that's why I said in my episodes, I'm finding the problem is with young black men, because older black men, not to say that they didn't have that black women didn't have issues with them per se, but it's not one of the issues that I think women have a legitimacy to complain about nowadays, because it was always about money for the women of the 80s and the 90s, right? Like, oh, they don't make enough money. Well, they self-corrected and they got educated, they got trade, they're making money, they're building business. So that's not you can't complain anymore about that. But my thing is, with the young millennial black men, is that they lack a certain emotional intelligence or capability. Like, they don't want to trust women. And I get that not all women should be trusted. Women lie too. But when you
Word.
find a girl who's worth trusting, trust her. Don't be testing her. Don't be doing all this nonsense, because this is one of the reasons that put good girls off of black men,
Yeah.
and they don't
I
want
think that
that. They don't want that.
women, and I'll say, because I think I think I mentioned some of it earlier, when it comes to the
Yeah.
priorities that these black women have when they say things like, oh, they're colonizers, as Handsome was saying earlier in his comments, that, oh, they'll sit here and say that, white men are oppressive and all these terrible things, but then you'll make a video on TikTok saying you want to be with a white dude. And it's like, the duality here, but I do think it comes down to the basic instincts, right? As a collective, the white people are oppressors, but then you want to be provided for, and now you're coming into direct conflict. Should your individual priority matter more than the collective priority? As a collective, you got to hate them,
Yeah.
but individually, you want them because you want to be provided and taken care of. It's like, right, that's
I
just
hear you.
kind of
Like,
the idea there. And I think that's the problem with women in general, though. As a collective, you can't stand men, but individually, you want them. So maybe you should speak from your
Okay, so here we
priority
go.
of
So
your individual
I
need.
have another comment from Celine. She said, I love me some Filipino people. Celine, you're adorable.
She's adorable.
I got another comment here from JB. A few weeks ago, Carlton posted his family on Facebook, and the comments went in on him being a sellout and can't handle a strong black woman, which I feel was extreme. It definitely was extreme. That's part of the problem with the flack that
I
black
saw
men who
that, and I
marry
thought,
outside.
so would he have been better being married to a black person when we looking at Will Smith and Jada Pinkett? I'm like, I guess,
Facts,
it's not
and rumors about
unusual.
him and Diddy. Right, right. Okay, get another comment for Young Man. Okay, so no, he was talking to me. Young, I'm like, I knew I wasn't crazy. He said, no, I'm talking to Brazen. When she tried to excuse all those black women for dating white men, you tried to say it was trauma from black men, and I'm calling Cap All I'm saying is black women been dating white men. It ain't been just us. Well,
Well,
that's the
Maya
point that
Angelou
I'm
was
making.
sexually assaulted
And
by black dudes.
thank you.
Tina Turner was
Thank you.
assaulted and beaten by her husband Ike. This is not.
Yep.
How am I? Like, I don't understand. It's not capping if I'm
And
telling
where
you
am
the
I
truth.
wrong there? Exactly. Where am I wrong there?
Not to say that Tina wouldn't have ended up with a black dude. It's quite possible that it's because this dude was there. Because if it was a black
Exactly.
dude that was there, could she have ended up with a black dude? I mean, but this is why when they, trying to
Right.
say that,
And that's why
like if the point that you're
and I
trying
did
to make,
offer some
Young
context,
Handsome,
didn't I?
is that you don't like it that black women are coming at you for dating white women when they've been dating white dudes for a long time, then this
Yeah.
is kind of irrelevant. Then interracial relationships shouldn't matter at all. Like, just don't come at me for doing it when you've been doing
And
it
you know
too.
what?
And we agree.
Exactly.
So
And you know what? And we do. And I did offer some context because I did say, for women like Maya Angelou, Tina Turner, Shaka Khan, they had traumatic experiences with black men and ended up with white men. But I said specifically with Serena, Venus, Eve, and who was the
Tyra.
other one? Tyra. I said, no, that's the growth and with them because they're not decades apart, but it's a change in demographics. Like, you didn't hear what I said. At least you didn't hear the full argument there. You were kind of listening to respond there. I did say a change in an environment you're going to date who you're around more. And so I'm sure when once upon a time Eve was in the hood, she dated black men, but then business and acting took her to an environment where there's predominantly more white people in this industry, and she's spending more time with white men. And so it's more likely that her, Tyra, Venus, and Serena, these women are going to end up with white men because their environment changed. And that's
And
the
I'm
whole
like,
part of
those
the growth you
exclamation
see there.
points, like, why are you yelling?
You yelling, right? Why are you yelling? So I think you were kind of listening to respond there. You didn't hear all of the facts that I said, because I'm like, the older black women, no, that was trauma, hands down. That was trauma. But with the younger women that you mentioned, younger, meaning not 80, right? Because Tyra and Serena and Venus, they're not spring chickens. But nonetheless, it's like, it wasn't trauma, it was a change in environment, right? That change expands outside of Black America. There's more white people in the industries of which that they participate in. And so they're going to encounter more white men. And so more or less, they're going to marry white men. And then because they're in an industry that requires a certain level of behavior where they are supposedly going to have to act white, they're going to attract those kind of men more anyway. And so I did not say that all of the women you listed was because of trauma. I said the older women that you mentioned was because of trauma. Those young ones, no, that was a change in environment. But you were kind of listening to respond. I hate that you made the switch. You apologized and you wanted to stay in contact. I mean, I still want to, but you kind of listened to respond there, guy. You
And then you started cussing. AF. I thought I was talking to somebody else.
He's got another one. Dude, y'all missing the point. All I'm saying is black women been dating outside their race. It ain't been just us. We're not ignoring that fact. We're not missing the point. I'm talking at each comment that you're putting up. You see, when I debate someone, I mean, it's difficult because you're in the comment section, but when I debate someone, I go at every point that you are making. I don't just look at the general point or the generalization that you're making. No, you made points. You listed different names. I gave you reasons for each name you've provided. At each comment you provided, I give you I talk at every single point that you make. And then I'll come at the full generalization that you're trying to make, which we agree on. But that's how I debate. So I'm not missing any point here.
But why they're getting with white dudes, that's where this differs off the generations of the women that you put out there. And we agree.
Exactly. We agree.
That's what the exclamation points.
Interracially dating doesn't mean you hate white people or black people. You're right, Celine. I got another one from Young Handsome 34. Wow, I gave you too much credit. Man, you sound silly. Black men ain't caused nowhere near as much trauma to black women that white men have. And there it is. There it is. The white man, master, slave, master, oppressor.
Story been debunked, and they was around way more being
black. Stop. No, not in their career. nowhere near as many black men in their industry than there are white people. Sorry, you're just there's no
So
no
you're
facts or
telling me
numbers.
that Ike Turner didn't beat Tina? You're gonna have to prove that to me. You're gonna tell me that Maya Angelou wasn't sexually assaulted by people in her
Black
family?
men, like what?
Like you
Right.
just this.
Like
I'm gonna
you're
need more
dismissing it.
on
He's
that.
saying he's getting pretty much too much credit, and like I'm just pretty much trying to dismiss everything. So as far as JB said, I'm thinking the brother is saying you excuse the black women who dated out due to trauma. I'm not excusing anything. These are whys. The what is the
We
problem with
agree.
calling out the why somebody does something is important to talk about? Like that's
We're not
important.
disagreeing.
It's
We're not
we're
disagreeing
not
that
disagreeing here. You may
black
not
women
like
date
the
outside
why
the
they're
race.
doing it, but we can't sit here and say like I'm not a woman who runs around here talking about how all black men are the color purple bad. No, I'm not saying that. And to
And I
say
hated that
for
book. I
young
hated that
hands,
movie.
I hated that too. I hated how they depicted all black men because not all black men are hostile and violent the way that they're depicted in that book. But it doesn't change the fact that Maya Angelou, Tina Turner, and Shaka Khan had bad experiences, traumatic experiences with black men, and so they felt safer with their white male counterparts. Like that's what happened there. That's why. I mean, there's nothing wrong in talking about that at all. So you can say you're giving me too much credit, but when you
Right,
bring
because
up
you can
different
make the
talking
same
points, I will
argument
talk
for black men why they choose to date white women. Like you're tired of being disrespected,
right,
and so you're going to go date where you think you're going to be respected. That's not true for
right. You're
all black
tired of being
women, right? Like
right.
there are black women who are not that disrespectful, but you're just done as black men, waiting to find the unicorn. Like, you've got
Right.
trash trauma with ratchet black women, so now you're done. You're going to date outside the race. That doesn't necessarily mean that all black women are trash. You're just done trying to find the unicorn. That's a why
Right.
sometimes you'll
Exactly.
find a black man with a white woman. But black
Exactly.
men do
That's a
date white
why.
women. It's like,
Why is
right, that's a
important too.
why. The why matters.
Right.
To pretend that it
And the
doesn't is
same way
kind of ridiculous.
and if the biggest thing that we were talking about today is why black men are marrying outside their race, I guarantee you there would be a black female version of Young Handsome here today saying you can't put all of it on, the trauma of disrespectful women to black women towards black men. But it's like, no, the why they do something, that's important.
It's
And
like, right.
let me see here. You got another comment from Celine. White people aren't responsible for the transgressions of their ancestors. No, you are not, Celine, and you are so right. You're not responsible. So this woe is me that black people entirely, right? Because it's not just black women,
Exactly.
black men do it too.
Tina Turner wasn't
White
abused
people
by
are
a
not
white slave master. She was abused
right.
by
She
her husband.
wasn't.
Maya Angelou wasn't sexually assaulted
Exactly.
by a white slave master. She was sexually assaulted
Yep.
by black men. Oprah Winfrey,
Exactly.
when she
But
talked
you
about
know
her
what?
story with Barbara Walters. She was assaulted by black men, not by white slave masters. So it's not that she's with
Right.
a white dude. She's not with a white guy. I'm just suggesting, like you can't sit here and say that when black people do terrible things to other black people, that it's because the ancestors, the white ancestor. Like, what does that have to do with black on black crime? It's because of black on black crime why Tina
Exactly.
Turner chose to be with a white person. That's a why. It's not
Exactly.
true for all
That's
of the black women
exactly
who date white
why it is
dudes,
important.
but it is true for Tina Turner.
Yep, it's important to talk about the why. I got another comment from Young Handsome. My point is black women have created this trope that we have been the only ones dating outside our race and how they're
Yeah,
the
but why are you
most race
accusing us of
loyal.
that?
And I'm calling that I gave examples simple. Yeah, and I was talking about each examples. You're not wrong when you talk about black women. Um,
And we're not
like I totally
disagreeing.
agree with you.
But why is he putting
But no.
on you that you're one of
Right.
these black women that's accusing only black men for dating outside the race? Like you have mentioned
Yeah.
that black women do it
Yeah.
too. Like if everybody's doing it,
And
then why am I getting crapped on for saying that everybody's doing it? Or at least a lot of people in the community are doing it. Why are black people
Right.
in general dating outside their race? Why am I wrong for asking
I
that
agree.
question? We don't even disagree.
Yeah, I'm like that's just like we don't. I think he did a listen to respond. I think we do agree, Young Handsome. I think we do. I just don't think you like the idea of going down the whys for black women per se, but why is important. Why somebody says or does anything, it's important to to talk about
He
and
could just
debate out as
disagree. He
well.
could just think that it's irrelevant to go down the why. So my goodness, there's a way to say
Right,
that
and
without all
like
the capital letters and the exclamation points. You're yelling at me, and I don't like
right is
it.
you're pretty much yelling. Celine goes on to say, "We're not our ancestors." I have another commenter in here, and Mr. Lee Johnson. Thank you for joining the comment section and joining me on this live, Mr. Lee. He says black women are taking the bribe from white media. What? I
What's
didn't
the
get
bribe?
paid for this. Who's paying?
What the
Who's
hell is the
paying?
bribe?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I didn't get no money for this. I didn't get nothing for this. Like, who's paying? He says, he goes on to say, are you saying your history of white crime over blacks is justified? You mean
No one said
slavery and
that.
segregation and all that nonsense?
No one said
No
that.
one said any of that. I'm simply saying it
I'm
has
just saying
nothing to
that when
do.
black people get abused, it's not because of white ancestors. It's like, sorry, but when a black woman gets abused by a black man, you're not going to convince me that it was because of the white slave master 200 years ago, why a black man abused a black woman, or why a black woman stabbed her black boyfriend in the hand with a fork.
Word, but you shocked that this dude went to go marry a white chick? You stabbed me with a fork. And N-word, you
I
beat
do
me.
know women who've done that, and they're black women who abuse their black husbands. Like, come on. Like, you're not going to convince me
Like,
it's
right.
because of slavery why black women think it's okay to abuse their black men, or why it's okay for black men to abuse their black wives or girlfriends. It's not because of slavery.
It's not. It's not. I got another comment from Mr. Lee. Are you giving a thumbs down to white first thinking?
I don't know what that means.
What? You mean like are you saying that in like the context of like America first, like whites first? I'm America first. Like
I'm America first.
That's where my thinking is. America, Christ is king, America first thinker. That's my thinking. And I don't care if you're black, white. I care if you're Chinese. But, I don't really care. Native American, black, white, as long as it's the OG race, I don't really care. America first. Bird.
Right. The
I got another
OG races
comment
can be
from
interracial. I'm concerned about Asians.
Chinese. He has JB with another comment. I wasn't trying to make it seem like I was disagreeing with you. I wasn't, but I have to go. Thanks for having me, Brazen. Arshel, I'd like to do a show with you and your sister soon. Ditto. I do have his email. We got to put together a live on a time that works for everybody because we're, again, 3 separate time zones. JB's in Cali. I'm in Texas. You're in Pennsylvania. So we got a Saturday is better, but for me, well, I don't know.
I work
really, 'cause he's
Saturdays,
at
so
work.
it'd be like Tuesday or Wednesday evenings because I have the time to do it. Tuesdays, Wednesdays
Now,
evenings,
I'm
and then
off.
you gotta.
I'm off, but he's at work. So yeah, we got to figure something out. Well, you have a little bit more
Well,
flexibility in your
any time
schedule.
of the
So
day
see
on
what
Tuesday or Wednesday past 3:00, I'm good to go. So
I'm at work on Tuesdays. Wednesdays maybe good. Well, no, not even. I work.
okay.
We'll figure it out offline. We'll figure it out
We'll figure it out.
offline. I got a comment from Lee Johnson. Are you here to say whites first thinking? Yeah, we did that one already. He said black women have taken. Well,
But we
at the
saw that
beginning.
one.
No, we did. Let me see.
Yeah.
He's saying, okay, here we are. Where are we? Let's see. There we go. He's pretty much saying all white racism focuses on denigrating the black man. That is the Egyptian plan in action. You're one of those, Mr. Lee.
All white racism.
What justification is this? He's
no one's trying to justify slavery. I'm not even going to go into personally. I'm not even going to go into the whole Egyptian thing. Like I'm not going to convince you otherwise. It's a waste of time for even trying.
Handsome 34. So they felt safer with the men who enslaved their ancestors, oppressed them, strung them up from trees, and fed their babies to what the hell is that? Crocodiles? Why they never promote any other men? Dude, stop. I'm out. Deuces.
But Egyptians to the Hebrews, and obviously the Egyptians were not white. So slavery is not, it's not just something that is significant to white Americans. You could not be with an Arab because Arabs, in the past were responsible for killing the Hebrews. Slavery was a thing for a lot of other people. Yeah. This is just stupid.
Some more comments coming in. Lee Johnson erases all the evil of whites against blacks.
I'm saying that the evil of yesteryear has nothing to do with why black on black crime is a thing.
Today. Right.
It's like,
White Americans are not guilty. Let me be clear about this. I do not hold white people today accountable of what their forefathers are guilty of. They are not responsible of what happened to my ancestors. Let's call a spade. I do not hold them accountable. I'm not racist to white people. We are all American. They are American. I am American. I don't give a damn what color skin you are. I don't care. If you are American, that's all that matters. You are not guilty of your forefathers, because if that were the case, I can be mad at the Jewish people for their ancestors for murdering Jesus. I could be mad at you can find a reason to hate any other race that isn't black. You can find a
I
reason.
cannot like Muslims because of 9/11, but then I'd be Islamophobic, wouldn't I?
Exactly.
Like, what's the difference between you hating on whites just because of history? And that was 20 years ago when you look at the 9/11, 24.
Right. And you can go far back. You go far back enough, you can find a reason to hate any race that is not black. And so stop holding white people accountable today for sins that were committed 200, 100 years ago. They're not guilty of it. So stop holding them responsible for it. Like, I will defend white Americans. I will do that. No, none of them have treated me a kind of way. But you will continue to treat white people badly and then disrespect black men or women. Clearly, Mr. Johnson, you will disrespect anybody who's black, who marries outside of the race of black, because you clearly just don't like white people. At least that's what I'm getting from your comments here. So I got another comment here from Celine. Are you guys twins? Yes, we are.
Yes.
She just actually. And let's see here. Any more comments coming in? I got another one from Celine. Our country was much less racially divided and politically divided under Trump. I voted for him in 2020. So did I. And can't wait to vote again for him in 2 weeks. Ditto.
Right.
Celine.
It is in 2 weeks, isn't it? My goodness. It's going on for too long. I'm over the political ads. I can't wait for the election to be over. But word indeed, Trump 2024 all day.
All day, every day. I'm right there with you, Celine. Like, you see, this is what I mean about like-minded people and sharing values. I have more in common with the young white woman than I do with the black men who were on here.
With the exception of
what does that
JB.
say? With the exception of JB, of course. What does that say? This is why you're finding Carltons marrying outside their race. Enough said. Does he keep putting in the same thing? Are you saying whites first thinking? Are you saying?
What do you mean whites first? I think people should be respected. I think Americans should come first.
Period.
Like,
enough said.
No,
Christ
like,
is king in America.
Sorry,
America
but if
first.
you think that loving Jesus is a white thing, then one could make the accusation that that's not really a black thought, because black people love Jesus. So I don't know what you're talking about. As far as America first, black folk kind of want them to, they want to come first over these damn illegals. All that's up and through in Chicago. Clearly, we sending money to everybody else, but the people of these hurricanes who were survivors, they struggling and they want to come first. That's not about being
like, here we go again. He says, yes, denigrate black men in harmony with what whites have done all their history. Mother of sweet baby.
They denigrated themselves. Thank you, Lee Johnson. They denigrated themselves. Black men and black women.
Say, yes or no. You know what I'm saying. These are in the comments. You know what I'm saying. Yes or no. No, Christ is king, America first. But according to your mindset, Mr. Johnson, you think that's white first thinking. Right. I got another comment here from Celine. I loved Donald Trump back in 2016 when I was just 16 years old because he was funny and our country was so much safer. You know what, Celine? Funnily enough, I was raised conservatively, but me and my twin were so liberal. We could not stand Trump. Literally, it was the debate at the Republican Party for the Republicans when Megyn Kelly asked that crazy question. I still couldn't stand him. But then I started to watch Fox News, and then I realized why I don't like Hillary Clinton. And as the election went on and on and on, I was like, I don't like both of them. And then he won, and then we were happy that it wasn't Hillary. And then I saw him saving business and jobs and manufacturing. I'm like, this guy's pretty good. I like him. I like Trump. And that was my red pill moment for both me and my sister. So that was a remarkable year. I got some Mr. John.
She's cool people. Celine, you're cool people.
Question. Yeah, he says the Bible shows Jesus was not black nor white. No, he wasn't. He pretty much
missing the morality of Christ, dude. You're focused on the wrong. You and I did that. You just talk about this morning. You remember
We
this
did.
morning?
We
You
got
remember
another one. Jesus says, if you are favoring one over the other, you are committing a sin. Dude,
I'm
you're
not
doing the
saying
favoring. I said I'm America first. I mean, I don't like
right.
Chinese, so I mean, you can't say my prejudice towards them is the sin. There, I can agree with you, Mr. Lee. I'm working on it. This ain't the Starfleet teaching me, so it's not working on.
Towards Chinese.
Chinese are silent right now.
Yo, word. Silence.
Oh,
Toasters.
gosh. And I'm pretty prejudiced towards the illegals who don't know how to speak English. So yeah, I got issues here, man. I got issues.
And
But no, I'm
transgender.
not.
I'm not without sin. I was born into it. I pray
Say
on it.
no. Notice she cannot say it. Cannot say
Can I
what?
say
No, I'm not
what?
white first. I'm Christ is King, America first. Period. I got
You're
another
not
one
going to
from
be satisfied
Celine.
until you hear someone say that, and you're never going to hear it. So, dude, I'm like,
They're not word because I already said it. I got another comment from Celine. We want good people to come in legally. Trump never said he was against immigration. He was against illegal immigration. Two very different things. Yeah, you're right
yep,
about that, Celine. Because I'm
that's
I'm
the America
totally against
First ideal.
illegal immigration. Here's another one
Yeah.
from Lee Johnson. Okay, we're gonna wrap this up just a little bit, but here we go. The Bible shows if you are partial, you are of the flesh. I didn't say
No
it was
one's
perfect. I said I
denying
got issues. No, you
that.
cannot
Right.
answer the question. What do you mean? Are you saying no to whites first thinking or not? I said no. I'm Christ is King, America first. What about
Like
that
that
is
question's been
unclear?
asked
You
and
don't
answered,
speak
dude.
English.
You
Are
just,
you an
you're not
illegal,
going to
Mr.
hear what
Lee?
you want to
Do you
hear.
not speak English? Let's see.
Oh,
Jesus
that's
says if
great.
you are denigrating men as a woman, you are doing wrong. Man is head of the woman.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
What's the problem?
I agree.
We agree there.
Right. Bible shows if you live by the flesh, you are not of the spirit. Yeah, you're not wrong there either.
We're not disagreeing on that,
America
but you're
is
trying
not
to say
first. He said America is not first, only God is first. I said Christ is King, America first. So when
that's
people
just the
say
name
America
of the
first,
movement and hashtag. Like,
right,
you know what we mean.
right, because
You're
they won't
looking for
call
stuff
him.
to be
He's
upset
right.
with, dude. You're
He
just looking for
is.
something to be
So
mad about because you
the Bible
disagree
says that man
on
is
what we're
head
saying.
over the woman.
That's
Yeah.
what it is.
He's just Mr. Johnson. I think you're upset. You're kind of stuck in your black man, ways.
Black
But okay,
power.
Christ is not. Yes, he says. Okay, this one I got to respond to. Christ is not God. Yeah, I knew you were one of those. Christ is God. Jesus Christ is the Lord and Savior. He is the King of all the universe of all things. He is the King. The problem with America today is that Jesus Christ has not been mainstream. He's been kicked out of the society, out of public square, and that is the problem with America today. And that's why you men have lost control over the women because Christ has been kicked out of the home and out of public square. So don't sit here saying that Jesus Christ is not God. He is. Just got to say that.
That's right.
But thank
Jesus
you
said,
for
before there was Abraham, there was I am that I am. Who was I am that I am?
right. Exactly.
Come on.
Jesus Christ
Sorry,
is
that's enough.
King. Jesus Christ is God. Jesus Christ is the Lord and Savior. But that is just,
Where
something
there
you're
was
just gonna
Abraham,
have
there
to
was I am
kind
that
of
I am.
deal with. But Archie, I just gotta say thank you so much for joining me here. I am ready to kind of
Yeah,
end
sure.
this out. But thanks for
Can
joining
I
in.
say one more
I do
thing?
know
Can I say
that.
one thing before I leave?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so that handsome guy, I was gonna give him a subscriber. I'm taking that back because he, kind of raged quit because he
Yeah.
wasn't winning. That's just what happened there. And that Lee Johnson guy, he's looking to hear something. They were getting on my nerves. Like, I'm sorry, but yeah, they were getting on my nerves. And Celine is amazing. I think she's awesome because right here we are exactly displaying what we say, exactly what we mean. We have these ideas of we love Jesus. We are America first. We have no issues with interracial relationships, but somehow people are taking problems with it regardless of gender doing it. It seems to be a problem, but a problem specifically with Black folk. Because Celine, being a white female herself, doesn't have an issue with it. But why did you have two Black dudes? I'm assuming Lee Johnson is a Black dude. Took an issue with that conversation. Like Celine didn't have an issue. Whites don't have an issue. It's literally with Black people, and it's the Black people of Black power. Their power does not come from Jesus. It comes from their Blackness. And that is a God in and of itself. And it's one of these, false gods that I'm waiting for the twilight, and the God of Black needs to go. I'm over it. I'm over it.
Yep. Thank you so much, Archie. Appreciate you coming on. JB, thank you so much for coming on to the channel as well for this live. That was actually pretty fun. I like that all these comments were coming in. But thanks again, Archie, for coming in. I'm going to get ready to close
Thank you for
this out.
having me. You know I'm watching this later just because, of course.
I hear you. I hear you. I'm probably going to clip it and stuff and throw it in there too.
You got it. So save you all.
Archie, have a good one. So
Thanks.
save you all. All right, folks. Well, that actually was pretty fun. I got to say it because here we go. I got some more comments coming in from Mr. Lee Johnson. And for like 10 minutes, he's been kind of filling in the comment sections, you guys can see. But his, we're not going to go into too much because his is more of a spiritual thing. And I would actually like to talk with him on another live later down the road. If he's interested, I'll get in the comment section later, see if he is interested in doing a live where we can clearly talk about the spirituality and the spiritual history and biblical history when it comes to Jesus Christ. Like, I'm not perfect. There's some things that I don't know. I'm still learning. I'm still studying. So, if you're willing to teach me something and educate me on some things, I'm willing to have a live about that as well, Mr. Lee Johnson, because, I'm about to close out and I would like to. So I will make some information available. As far as my email address is concerned, let me see. Can I send? Unfortunately, no, I can't. Okay, so I'll put all the information in the comment section when the live ends, because I think if you know how live works, Mr. Lee, like when lives end, the comments just kind of disappear and then new comments come in after the fact. But there is this one comment to Mr. Young Handsome 34 who gives a F word. Trick kick rocks. This is what happens when you lose a debate, ladies and gentlemen. The guy didn't even come on. And I got to say it, 2 individuals signed on to the StreamYard, signed on to the broadcast today with no issues. Now, Archie was very polite and she didn't want to come at anybody because he probably could have been having technical difficulties. But for a guy who said that he was off the live and that he was all deuces, you're back. You're talking more smack and you're being disrespectful yet again. And why? Because you are losing. You lost. This is what people do when they lose debates. When they realize that their arguments can't stand or hold water, they go to the insults because they know that they lost. And this is literally, I took my time. I was going through his comment section. It looked like that we were in agreement, but the second a subject got a little bit too testy for him, he got offended and he went disrespectful. So go ahead, call me the names. I got thick enough skin. I'm tough. I grew up in New York, so that's nothing. I've been called worse, believe it or not. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to find yourself debating liberals, because he's clearly a liberal, clearly, because he doesn't like white people, and it looking like same thing with Mr. Lee Johnson. They don't like white people either. You're sounding like one of those. What the heck are they called? Not Jehovah's Witness. I can't remember the name of the group, but they're like the real biblical hard types where they think, black people of the world are the real chosen people of God and not the Jews. And that's what you sound like, Mr. Lee Johnson. I mean, I'm still willing to have a conversation with you later down the road. Again, I'll be making some information available for you if you are willing to come on the live. And Mr. Handsome, you're back. Lose what debate? I just came back because I figured out why I couldn't come up. I definitely destroyed you. If you believe you destroyed me, you're like most black people who are liberal, living in a delusion. You did not. You did not. And I don't know why you had technical issues coming on when, as you saw, 2 individuals it was easy for them to sign on to the StreamYards, to the broadcast. You should have been able to do so. So I don't know what your problem was as far as that was concerned. But if you really think you won that debate, you're kind of delusional there. Another one from Mr. Handsome. I can handle a debate. I just don't go back and forward with bozo rhetoric. And I'm definitely not a liberal. Once again, you are wrong. He goes on to say, I'm a left-leaning Trump supporter. You tried it, though. So what if you're a Trump support? What is this thing? Like, just because you're voting for Trump, all of a sudden that all of your way of thinking wasn't already problematic. The country is this bad because you were left leaning. We only need Donald Trump because of you liberal lefties. That's the the point. You're voting for Trump now because your thinking destroyed the country. That's the problem. Period. You lefties were always the issue. Your liberalism was always the issue. It was always the problem. Always, Mr. Young Handsome 34. It was always the problem. You're now voting for Trump now because you realize how devastating the country is for you. That government doesn't care about you. They don't. They never did. You're the same person who's sitting here talking about how whites are bad and this, that, and the third. No, I take that back. That was, well, you're still all white massa. It wasn't just the point you were making as far as black women saying that that's the problem with white men. You generally believe that. Your left-leaning thinking was always the problem. It is part of why we are here. There's been no balanced mindset. You being a lefty, problem. Just got to say that. Let's see. Do we have any other comments coming in before I end this? How about a channel where we denigrate black women? How would that be? There's already channels for that, Mr. Lee. There's like a crap ton of manosphere content that trashes black women, women in general. Like, where have you been the last 5 years? I just got to say that. Another one from Young and Handsome here. Let me make this clear. I do not like Democrats. Maybe not, but you are a left-leaning individual. What? You don't have to be Democrat to be a lefty. I'm sorry. You don't. Because how many Democrats just switch to Republican and still think the way that they think? Hell, the mayor in Dallas switched to Republican. He's still a lefty. It's just that the left has gone so far for his liking. But why is it this bad right now? Because your thinking was always a problem. It was always a problem. You don't have to be a Democrat to be a lefty. Sorry, you don't. So many of them switched already. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me on this live tonight. Today, we did talk about why black women are ditching black men, but black men have been doing it for decades, and they don't really get to be mad that black women want to talk about it now, especially when you got black men who are creating content doing the same thing. I do find that black men are getting as offended as black women. Clearly, the example, proof is in the pudding on just this live. I'm seeing it here live. But that was actually pretty fun. Mr. Young and Handsome, if you are willing to do this again and actually come on, we will discuss that in the comment section. As you know, when a live ends, the comments do disappear. So, we'll talk about it in the comment section again. If you do want to do a debate, there's no software you have to download to get on the broadcast. As I said, you click the link, it brings you in browser, you type your name, and then that's that. I did make the link available for anyone who wanted to join in on the StreamYard. I posted it 3 times for anyone who wanted to get in. But ladies and gentlemen, again, that was fun. Make sure you're hitting that like and subscribe button. If you haven't already, hit that bell so that way you're notified anytime that I go live, release a new episode, or post a short. Again, for those of you who are cigar enthusiasts, the link for Kingdom Cigar Lounge will be posted in the comment section after the live ends, because as you guys know, these things kind of just go away after the live ends. But thanks again. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Have a lovely rest of your weekend. God bless you all. And until next time, your fault why you can't achieve it. Because you've been sitting here blaming whites. Oh, it's the white man. It's systemic racism why I can't have generational wealth. Amen and hallelujah to that. Amen and hallelujah.